Hey guys, and welcome back to another video here on Airborne Commander here on World War II Solitaire board game channel. Today we're going to be playing with the mission cards randomized, so we have shuffled the mission deck. Otherwise, the setup procedure is exactly the same as when you play Airborne Commander in the numerical order. So if you haven't watched my previous videos on Airborne Commander, I recommend you to do so. In the previous video where I played the 2021 version in numerical order, I also tell you about how to properly set up the game. So anyway, let's get started here and draw our starting hand. And we start off right off the bat with two disorganized cards. That's not very nice. And let's fill the drop zone. We have the mortar, that's one of my favorites. Oh, and we have two Brownings. The units with suppressing values, especially two, which are the Brownings and the mortar, they are very important to recruit. So it's not very good actually when you get too many of them at once, because it means I have to either successfully recruit one or I'm gonna have to discard one. Anyway, let's check out the mission deck. Okay, we have an objective, we have flak, and we have some infantry. -1 to reinforcements this turn, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to capture that objective since I currently only have 3 soldiers on my hand, and I'm going to need all of them to keep these enemies occupied. I am going to use the sergeant in the support area to suppress the Model 34 mortar. I am going to use the corporal to engage the Ust infantry, and then I'm going to sacrifice the private. He's going to be killed by the flak, but he's not going to let it through at least. That way we don't have to take more disorganized cards. So the corporal engages the Ust. None of them eliminate each other. They are both discarded. The sergeant suppresses the mortar, which is discarded. And then the private engages the flak. And unfortunately for him, that means he is KIA, so he goes to the discard pile. And that also means that unfortunately we do not gain the first objective. We have to discard 2 of these cards. I'm gonna go ahead and discard, let's see, I'll go with the Browning and the AT gun. And we're gonna fill the battle zone. We have 2 static defenses, infantry, and car. And we draw the top 5 cards from our deck, and we have one disorganized card. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and the private is gonna engage the static infantry here. They aren't gonna kill each other, but they're gonna do that so that we do not get a disorganized card. I'm gonna save this guy for recruiting, and then the 2 privates are together gonna attack this car here, because they have a 1 in anti-infantry attack value, and this infantry card has 1 in defense. So their attack together combined is 2, which exceeds the defense of the car, so I managed to destroy it. And the reason why I actually waste 2 soldiers to do that is because if you look at this card, this is one of the expansion cards. If not destroyed, +1 disorganized, and I definitely don't want that to happen. And we get half a victory point from him since he is infantry card. So these guys are engaged but not destroyed. The blockhouses go to the right, and none of these, I can't recruit any of them because they cost more than what I have with him. He has 2+2. So I'm going to go ahead and discard these 2 cards. Fill up the drop zone, and there we go, another blockhouse, another static defense, and a panther. Oh, okay, only 1 card there, so I have to shuffle these. So I'm definitely gonna have to sacrifice someone now. Oh man, we get 3 disorganized cards. I'm gonna have to sacrifice 2 soldiers for this. Man, Okay, so the problem we have here now is that if I don't engage the Panther, he's gonna break through, and let's see, so that it really focuses. He's gonna break through, and I am gonna get another disorganized card. And we have 4 static defenses, and if I don't engage one of them, I am gonna lose the game, because at the end of the round, if you have 4 static defenses unopposed, you've lost the game. But that also means because the Panther has a 4 anti-infantry value and the roadblock has 3. But I'm actually gonna take one of the block houses, because if they're gonna eliminate one, they might as well eliminate a block house instead of a roadblock, because these can be suppressed. Well, that is the way it works sometimes. So the Panther eliminates my private, and the blockhouse eliminates my second lieutenant. And that means I have my Pathfinder still alive, but there's just this guy I can recruit, and he's not very good, so I am not going to recruit. I'm going to save the Pathfinder for later. Well, as you can see, the expansion pack and randomizing the cards, it really makes a big difference. I only have 4 cards here. I need 5. There's 3 disorganized. I'm just basically going to deal me 1, because we know that the other 2 are going to be disorganized cards, right? Yes, it really does make a difference, because I have big trouble here now. And there we get the dreaded terrain card. Saint Meruglis, place in 5th battleground slot. Terrain cards are played in the 5th slot. So from now on, we're going to have to play 5 cards instead of 4. If there's a terrain card, that is. And there we have a terrain card. Defending units are considered armored, so I cannot suppress any defending units. And we have another static defense, and then we have an armored car. Wow, things are not looking good for me at all. So that means defending units are considered armor. So that means now that I cannot suppress, even though I have a sergeant who is... he can't possibly suppress. Man, things are not going good at all. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the private on one of the roadblocks. Use the other private on the armored car. And then the sergeant on this one. Actually, I'm going to use the corporal for that. So I think that works out pretty good, because this one doesn't kill my private. It has 2 attack. My private has 2 defend. It has to exceed the defense value. The corporal is not killed by this guy either. He has 1 in attack. My guy has 1 in defense. So they just cancel each other out. However, the paratrooper here, he's KIA by one of the roadblocks. One of the block houses. And then we discard the terrain, and the static defense goes over here. Now it's time to recruit. I have 2+2, and then my sergeant has 2. So I'm going to do 3+3 then. I'm going to take the Browning, and I'm going to take the mortar. And let's fill the drop zone again. And let's fill the battlefield. We have war terrain. Discard 1 AT, mortar, MG, or bazooka. See, it's kind of hard to fit them. Let's do it like this. Yeah, it's a big difference, of course, having to face 5 cards instead of 4. So getting that Saint Meruglis card early on, that's going to be quite lethal. So there we go. We have drawn 5 new cards, and we hope we don't get any disorganized cards, but we got 3 of them. Oh man, oh man. Okay, so discard 1 AT mortar. So I now have 1 card. And with that 1 card, I'm going to go ahead and use that in the support zone and suppress that machine gewehr. the Panzer breaks through the lines. That is the first time that happens to me in a very long time, and that is because I'm using the expansions. You can see the expansion is, again, good. So we have to take a disorganized card to our deck, and we discard this card, and we lose the mission as well. And we discard our sergeant who we used in the support area. So now we have to discard 2 cards here. We're gonna go with, I think we have to discard the tank actually, because things are looking so bad. I will not have the resources to recruit the tank. I only have 4 cards here, so we have to shuffle. I'm running out of cards now. This is a bad situation for me. As you can see, I'm mostly drawing disorganized cards. And that's what happens when you don't fill out your deck enough. And we have infantry, and more infantry. Okay, so lucky me, I did get the Browning, so I can suppress 2 of these infantry by playing the Browning in the support zone. And I'm gonna use the privates. I'm gonna send him against these guys. So the private and this guy, they cancel each other out. They don't have... he has 2 attack value. My private has 2 in defense. My private has 1 in attack. He has 3 in defense. So they can't kill each other, but they are engaging each other. The Browning here with his 2 in suppression value suppresses the 2 infantry units. And that leaves me with these guys. I can recruit for 3+1 with these guys. Sorry, 3+2 actually. Alright, so I'm gonna get the bazooka, and I am gonna get... I need suppress, but I also need AT, so I'm gonna go with the AT actually. Okay, so we fill the drop zone. I'm actually getting really nervous because I think that I might actually lose. We have a terrain card, so we put that in Sent Me Release. That is an awful one. Defending units are considered armored. We get another terrain. Remember, we can only play 1 at a time, so that goes into the recon zone. And then we have another MG42. Rats. And this is going to be a lot of disorganized, I think. Yeah, look at that. Oh man, 3 disorganized cards. So you can see it's quickly turning bad. We have defending units are considered armor, so I cannot engage them by suppression. So we have a real problem here because I can engage them, these 2 guys, but I will lose them doing that. And if I don't engage them, I'm going to take 3 disorganized cards. And if that happens, it's pretty much game over. But yeah, these cards are quite powerful, so I don't really see a way out of this. To be honest, I already have 4 disorganized. Well, this is tough nut to crack. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to take 3 disorganized cards. These guys are they're going through my lines. 1, 2, 3. We only have 3 left. If I get 3 more disorganized cards, that is game lost. We discard that, and we discard, let's see, this guy and this guy, and we fill the drop zone. And yeah, right, so we have to go with this first from the recon zone, and then we draw another terrain card. We put that in the recon zone. We have an objective and another objective that also goes in the recon area. And then we have a tank. Okay, and actually the terrain should go over here. So we need to draw 1 more card. And it's those guys. Those are horrible. Ignore 1 suppression. Okay, so let's hope that we don't get 4 or 5 disorganized card here. But I wouldn't be surprised if we did. We got 3 of them, so I mean it could have been worse, but it's still not good. All right, let's see what we're working with here. It's not looking good at all, to be honest. I think this is this is going to be lost. Anyway, we'll use the mortar to suppress these guys, and then we'll use the private to engage this guy, and these two guys we're just simply gonna save. So this guy is suppressed by the mortar. The mortar has a 2 in suppression value, and then this guy is engaged by the private. They do not kill each other, they just engage each other. I lose another objective, and we discard the terrain. And I can't recruit anything really, or actually perhaps infantry reinforcements only this turn. I could recruit this guy. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I need to fill up my hand now because it's just way too much disorganized cards if I am going to have a chance here to win. And there's a terrain card, so we put that on the Saint Marguerite. And actually that is a mistake, because the terrain card should be in this one from our recon area, and then we should play the objective from the recon area. Alright, so we need to draw 5 new cards. It's going to be some disorganized, I'm sure 2 of them are. Alright, let's see. Yeah, we're still not going to be able to touch the objective. It's impossible. The Browning is going to suppress these 2 guys. Infantry reinforcements only this turn. That means we cannot recruit any of these because they're too expensive. So we're going to save these on our hand. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so the Browning suppresses these 2 infantry divisions. We lose another objective, so I can tell you right now we're definitely not going to get a Medal of Honor, and I am having a hard time thinking we're even going to be able to win. But we're not going to stop fighting, of course. We are going to stick with it and see what happens. Okay, so we'll discard this and this. And yeah, we have a new terrain card. We should fill our drop zone too. You can see I'm getting a little bit nervous here. Objective, infantry, and more infantry. Okay, must assign anti-tank to capture. 3 cards left, so we have to shuffle our discard pile. There we go. Let's hope we don't get a bunch of disorganized now. 2 of them. Well, it is what it is. Okay, so let's see. Oh, if I would have had a Browning now, I could basically have captured that objective, but I don't. So I'll have to use these guys to suppress, and because I cannot capture the objective if I don't engage the static defense. Let's see, I am gonna go ahead. Let's see, we'll do like this. The private suppresses that guy, and then we'll use this guy to fight with them. And then we are going to use these 2 to recruit. So we will recruit. We have a Pathfinder, which lets us recruit 2 soldiers instead of 1. And then plus 2 recruitment points. We have a total of 6 points. So we'll take the Browning for 3 points and the Mortar for 3 points. And this guy suppresses the Mortar. This guy fights with the Luftlandinfanterie Division. No casualties. The objective is lost. And then the terrain goes over here. Placing drop zone may not be discarded. Alright. So we fill. Let's see. We need to discard one of these first. Let's discard this guy. And right. We have another objective. One more objective. It goes to the recon area. We have terrain. Whoops. And then we have more infantry. So a lot of infantry. +2 to small arms attack for all Axis units, and -1 to reinforcements this turn, so that is not very good for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Luckily, I do have a few extra cards on my hand. Oh my! Okay. And that is why you don't let the Axis troops through, because if you do, you are screwed. Discard highest ranked defense card, and that is going to be my bazooka, so he has to be discarded. So I have to engage with this guy now. It doesn't matter which one I engage actually, because we have +2 small arms attack for all Axis units. So even if I engage this one, both of them, they're gonna take him out. So he is killed in action. And then we have a sniper, a sharpshooter. He gets through actually. So he brings me another disorganized card. That means there's only 2 left. 2 more. I can let 2 more Germans, and then I've lost. And then we have an objective lost, and the terrain is discarded. Okay, so we have to discard. Let's see. Actually, when you have this card, you should discard 3 cards. I only discarded. Sorry, you should discard 2 cards, because there should always be 2 open spaces. Last time I only discarded 1, so I'm gonna overcompensate now by discarding 3 instead of 2. But again, you should always have 2 open spaces. Look at that, 3 jeeps. All right, so let's fill the battleground. Infantry, and a tank. Oh. And let's shuffle our deck, because we need 5 cards. Oh yeah, actually, there shouldn't be a tank here, because we have an objective in the recon area. Sorry for the few mistakes I'm doing, but I think it is because this expansion cards are scaring me. Draw additional Axis card from the objective, so we actually do get the tank. So we have a total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is so lost, man. Okay, we're gonna play the Browning to suppress these 2 infantry soldiers, and then we're gonna play the mortar to suppress the 2 roadblocks, and then we're gonna sacrifice the private because we don't want another disorganized card, and we're gonna save this card. Okay, so the 2 static defense roadblocks are suppressed by my mortar. These 2 infantry soldiers are suppressed by my Browning. And this paratrooper is unfortunately KIA, killed by the tank, but at least he doesn't let that through the lines. And unfortunately we lose another objective, so it is what it is. Okay, we have to discard 2 of these. There has to be 2 open spaces, and we fill the drop zone. And we draw some more cards. We have a static defense, we have terrain, more terrain which goes into the recon area, and armored, some kind of armor. And then we have the dreaded motorcycle. I don't like that one. Okay, so we have to draw 5 cards. You can only guess how many of these are gonna be this. Oh man, oh! Like I said, do not leave the Germans unopposed. It's never gonna pay off. Okay, so we will engage the motorcycle by suppressing him. He's an infantry unit. And then we will use the privateer to engage. All units +1 defense doesn't really matter, because I can't kill them anyway. Anyway, this guy is just engaged, so none of them kill each other. This guy is suppressed. However, if you read here on the BMW R75, next turn draw additional Axis card if not destroyed. So we're going to put that on top to remember that we have to do that, since we only suppressed it, we didn't destroy it. Alright, and the static defenses goes together. We have to discard 2 of these. Fill the drop zone. So now we have to start by the recon area. We have terrain. And remember now that we have to put 1 additional card actually because of the BMW terrain, which we will put in the recon area. Objective, And one last card, which is another armored unit. And we draw 5 cards. And okay. Well, at least we can use the bazooka here to kill that armored thing. And this guy, well, I'm not going to sacrifice him. I'm going to use him to recruit. So this guy is killed, so we actually gain 1 VP. However, we have a +1 small arms attack for all Axis units. This unit has 2 attack +1, so that is 3. He only has 2 in defense. That means he's actually lost. So I lose 1 soldier doing that. The tank goes through my lines, so I take 1 more disorganized card. If I can take 1 more, that is going to be the last I've lost the game. So I lose the objective. We discard the terrain, and then the static defenses are stacked up together. I will use my Pathfinder to get a paratrooper. I'm desperately just trying to fill my deck because there's so many disorganized cards. Alright, let me just tidy up here a bit. So we're gonna go ahead and fill the battlefield yet again. Yeah, we have terrain from the recon area, all units +1 defense, and we have static defense, which we're gonna have to deal with, or we're gonna lose, because now we have 4 on the battlefield. Let's shuffle our cards. Okay. Actually, this is a pretty good hand we got, considering what we got in that deck. I'm going to use the Browning to suppress the 2 static defenses. And then I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to use the Mortar to suppress the infantry here. Or actually, I can actually use the Browning to attack with and the Mortar to suppress. And I save this guy for recruiting. So the Browning here, no. All units +1 defense. Otherwise, I would have actually taken this guy out. But anyway, they don't kill each other. They engage each other. Nothing happens. The Mortar suppresses the 2 static defenses. All right, yeah, we have this guy. So I have to engage him. Oh, rats. Okay, so instead of engaging that the infantry there I discarded with the Browning, I engage him with the Sergeant right and engage the armored car with my Browning. That way this one would have killed this Sergeant, but he won't kill the Browning, and this guy takes each other out. He can even suppress him. So they are discarded. But I can't recruit. I thought I would have a soldier over to recruit, but that's not going to happen. Okay, so we discarded terrain. We have to open up here for 2 more cards. We get the Mortar and the Sergeant. And this is going to be the last turn. Okay, and let's see. We need a 5th card here, I believe. No, that's for only if we have a terrain is going to be a 5th card. So let's see what we get for our final hand. Oh, that is rough. 3 disorganized cards. And actually what this means is that I'm going to have an automatic loss, because I can suppress with the private first class with the Thompson. He can suppress the flak. But this guy can't suppress. He can engage this unit. So this one is suppressed. This unit is engaged. They don't kill each other. They cancel each other out. However, the MG42 is unopposed. He goes through the lines, gives me a disorganized card, and that means there's no disorganized cards left. That is an automatic defeat. And if we want to count victory points, I would get 1 for destroying this and a half for destroying the car. And then I'm going to have -10. Because I have 10 disorganized cards on my hand. So that is going to be -8.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is -8.5 victory points. So if we consult the rule book, that is gonna be less than 0. I get a campaign ribbon. So I got something, but it's not good. And anyway, that you can see, and why the expansion like this Saint Miracle is, if I am interpreting this correctly, you can see why this is such an improvement, the expansion, because yeah, the base game is kind of a walk in the park. Usually I play that as, if you don't get a Medal of Honor, you automatically lose. But with this one, you actually have to fight sometimes to stay alive. I think I was a little bit unlucky, but anyway. And let me know what you think about this Saint Miraculous terrain card. Basically it says, place in the 5th battleground slot. Terrain cards are played in the 5th slot. So that's what I think of this. I mean, I think I interpreted it correctly, and I think it's a good card, because this game, the only complaint that I've seen about this game from people is that people basically think it's a little bit too easy. And I can agree with that, even though I think it's, I mean, you can compensate by playing for high score instead of playing for winning. But I think this expansion pack, all of these free cards are expansion cards, I think it does a really good job at improving upon that, which people have complained about a little bit. So anyway, guys, this is Airborne Commander 2021 version. You can buy this from the Game Crafter, $35.99 US. I am gonna provide you with a link in the description so you can find where to buy this game. This game includes the expansion Snafu expansion. You're gonna have to Google to find out what Snafu stands for. I'm not gonna tell you. Thank you as always for watching. If you're not a subscriber yet, I would be very happy if you would hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribing, please like the video, give me a comment. I'll also be very happy if you share the video. And that's everything, guys. Thank you very much for watching. It's been fun playing a few card games. I usually play more war game style games, and guess what, next game is also gonna be a card game, so stay tuned to find out what game that is. See you next time.